Hello everyone, Dark of All Trades here. Now I'm going to start off with a statement I don't normally make. This may seem a bit out of character, but I know that a lot of people watching will likely agree. Arguing with most YouTube apologists is like playing chess with a pigeon. It doesn't matter how good you are, they're just going to ignore the rules, poop on the board, and strut around like they won anyway. Now this doesn't apply to all apologists. I've had some excellent conversations, and every channel I've been on has been respectful before, during, and after. So what do I mean by this? Longtime viewers will recognize the common misunderstandings about atheism asserted confidently and then attacked. Many good straw men are lost every year. Show of hands in the comments, how many of you think the universe was created from nothing in an absolute sense? That is, ex nihilo. I'm going to guess very few, if not none. Yet this talking point comes up in so many videos. Why? They just can't let it go. So naturally, when I saw today's video, I was immediately concerned by the super clickbaity title. Let's take a look. Today's video is a short from Rage Ministries, which, for having 4.31k subscribers and 800 plus videos, they have surprisingly low views. Most of their videos seem to have less than 100 views, and in the last 7 months, the most viewed video has 170 views. This is just shy of about 4% of the subscribers watched the most popular video in the last 7 months. Now this is not to dog on the channel or the creator. Getting views can be a challenge. However, that is a pretty low watch rate. Looking over my stats, just out of sheer curiosity, my lowest viewed full video in the past year has 446 views. Out of my current subs count of 876, that is around 50% of you watched. Thank you so much for that. Even on the low end, you all show up and support me. Honestly, thank you. So why is there such a big disparity between the subs count and the most viewed count? I'm not sure. Maybe the shorts bring people in? I should look into that. Anyway, there I go again rambling. The title of this short that we're watching today is Atheist Gets Owned, and then some emoji that I can't really tell on mobile. Super clickbaity title, and it makes me concerned that this person is not here for a reasonable discussion, but let's check it out. Maybe he has some good points. So it looks like this is a stitch. The channel creator isn't responding to anything, just reacting to something he agrees with. I watched ahead a bit and it doesn't seem like he says anything, so I suppose I will see what he's agreeing to.
I'm an atheist because I've actually read the Bible.
This happens a lot. It is what started me on my journey out of Christianity. That is, reading what we were taught was the book at least inspired by God, or at most actually the written words of God, and finding a myriad of issues with it. There are a number of reasons why one would start having doubts after reading the Bible. Here are some of the reasons very briefly. The Bible is a complex collection of texts with various authors written over many centuries. Some readers may encounter apparent contradictions and inconsistencies within the text, which can raise doubts about its divine inspiration or inerrancy. The Bible contains passages that describe or endorse actions or beliefs that some people may find morally troubling. For example, stories of violence, genocide, or slavery can be difficult for modern readers to reconcile with their own moral values. Different denominations of theological traditions within Christianity interpret the Bible differently. Reading the Bible can expose individuals to alternate interpretations that challenge their existing belief and denominational teachings. Some individuals may find conflicts between the Bible's accounts of creation, history, or natural phenomena and the findings of modern science and historical research. This can lead to a reevaluation of their faith. As society evolves and becomes more secular or embraces different values, some individuals may feel a disconnect between the Bible's teachings and contemporary social norms. This can lead to a sense of alienation from their faith. Exposure to academic biblical scholarship, which examines the historical context, authorship, and textual variations of the Bible, can challenge traditional beliefs about the Bible's divine authorship and historical accuracy. As individuals grow and develop their own beliefs and values, they may find that certain aspects of their religious tradition or the Bible no longer align with their personal convictions. Some people may have been raised in a religious environment where they were taught to unquestionably accept certain beliefs. Reading the Bible critically can lead them to explore alternative perspectives and question their upbringing. Exposure to different religions and worldviews through education, travel, or personal relationships can lead individuals to reconsider their own faith and beliefs in a broader context. Personal life experiences such as crises, suffering, or existential questioning can prompt individuals to reevaluate their religious beliefs and seek answers or meaning outside of their faith. If you are a former Christian, are any of these reasons why you left your religion? If you were never a Christian, are any of these reasons the main reason why you aren't? Let me know in the comments. I want to know a little more about my audience.
That's not the flex that you think it is, dog.
It isn't meant to be a flex, as if it were some sort of brag. I don't know anyone who brags about having read the Bible. To assume and dismiss that statement as if it were just some sort of flex is to diminish the person's entire experience. I understand it might not be a flex in your view, but for me and many others, it is a significant part of the journey towards forming my beliefs. Reading the Bible allowed me to make informed decisions about my spirituality, and I am proud of the critical thinking I applied to it. Even if it was meant to be a flex, there's a lot more to that statement than just, I read a book. I just gave a bunch of reasons why someone could read the Bible and then stop believing. 2 sentences in, and this guy comes off as super arrogant.
You can read anything and still not understand what you just read. I can read a sign in French and still not know whether or not it says bookstore or liquor store.
This is a true statement. I absolutely agree with you that reading alone doesn't guarantee understanding. It is essential to recognize that simply reading a text doesn't automatically translate to a profound comprehension. The Bible is an intricate and multifaceted collection of text with a rich history of interpretation, and it can be challenging to fully grasp its meanings. That's precisely why my approach to the Bible went beyond just reading it once. I approached it as a journey of exploration and understanding. I've spent a considerable amount of time studying various interpretations, engaging in thoughtful discussions with people of different faiths and beliefs, and seeking out scholarly perspectives. I've explored historical contexts, linguistic nuances, and the diverse theology viewpoints that exist within Christianity. This journey wasn't about reading the Bible and dismissing it. It was about engaging with it critically and thoughtfully. It allowed me to make informed decisions about my own spirituality and beliefs. It has been a deeply personal and reflective process, and I believe it's essential for each person to navigate their own spiritual path in a way that makes sense to them. I'm always open to further discussion and learning, as my beliefs are not set in stone, but for now, my decision to identify as an atheist is a result of this careful consideration and exploration. Your comments bring up so many questions. When it comes to a highly interpretive text like the Bible, as I asked in my First Questions for Christians video, how do we determine which interpretation is correct? How do you know my interpretation of the Bible is incorrect? How do you know you've got it right? Why isn't there a consensus, but instead so many denominations that exist? Why hasn't any God come and corrected the obvious misunderstandings about his word? There are too many problems and not enough answers.
Okay, if you walk away from the Bible and you come to the conclusion thinking that God is evil, then that just means that you don't have reading comprehension skills. Congratulations, you've told on yourself.
The condescension now is just blatant. If I have a different interpretation than you, doesn't mean that I don't have any reading comprehension skills. Couldn't I say the exact same thing to you, since you presumably don't think that the God of the Bible is evil? This is a conversation stopping technique. You decided that your interpretation cannot be wrong, therefore anyone who doesn't agree with you is not only wrong, but has no ability to read a text, process and understand the information, make connections to prior knowledge, and draw inferences or conclusions from the material? So why do you think, Mr. Condescension, that someone would walk away from the Bible thinking that God is evil? Let's look at a handful of verses. 1 Samuel 15:3. Now go, attack the Amalekites and totally destroy all that belongs to them. Do not spare them. Put to death men and women, children and infants, cattle and sheep, camels and donkeys. Exodus 32:27-28. Then he said to them, This is what the Lord, the God of Israel, says. Each man strap a sword to his side. Go back and forth through the camp from one end to the other, each killing his brother and friend and neighbor. The Levites did as Moses commanded, and that day about 3,000 of the people died. Both of these verses depict instances of violence and destruction attributed to God's commands or actions. Even if they were meant to be at war, killing everyone, including children and infants, is inexcusable. What did the cattle do to deserve being killed? Just wasted. Justify the killing of children, infants, and cattle in this circumstance. Oh, but these are the Old Testament, right? We're under a new covenant, right? So let's look at the New Testament. Romans 9:18-21. Therefore God has mercy on whom he wants to have mercy, and he hardens whom he wants to harden. One of you will say to me, Then why does God still blame us? For who is able to resist his will? But who are you, a human being, to talk back to God? Shall what is formed say to the one who formed it, Why did you make me like this? Does not the potter have the right to make out of the same lump of clay some pottery for special purposes and some for common use? This passage from Romans can be seen as addressing the concept of predestination and God's sovereignty in a way that some find challenging in terms of human free will and moral responsibility. In Matthew 10:34-36, Jesus explicitly says, "Do not suppose that I have come to bring peace to the earth. I did not come to bring peace, but a sword. For I have come to turn a man against his father, a daughter against her mother, a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. A man's enemies will be the members of his own household." Jesus' words here seem to challenge the traditional idea of him as the Prince of Peace, as they have been interpreted within Christian theology. And that's it for his video. So having watched this, how do you think any atheist got owned from this? It seems like all he said was effectively, "You're not a Christian? That means you don't know how to read/interpret text." A total non sequitur. What is the point of this video? Simply insulting someone who thinks differently than you do? I guess with quality like this, I can see why he doesn't get many views. I think that his whole video was pretty short-sighted. Why is it that in so many apologist videos there is often a tremendous lack of empathy for people who think differently than them? That's it for this one, so what did you think? Do you think there was a good argument in this video? Or do you think that he comes off a bit too dismissive? Let me know in the comments below. Have you seen this tactic ever work? Do Christians like this kind of content? I am baffled that this not only got posted, but got stitched. Fortunately, this was put up at least 8 months ago and has no comments except for the channel that posted it. I scribbled out the link because no one needs to see that. I am not advertising for people like this. If you agree that thoughtful discussions beat pigeon chess any day, give a click on that like button. If you haven't already, subscribe to my channel and join our community of curious minds. Trust me, subscribing is way more satisfying than trying to reason with pigeons. An extra special thanks to my patrons, Long-Haired Lefty, Musical Ocelot, Jammin' Bomb, and a new patron, Kai Henningsen. Your support means more to me than any unempathetic religy boy. If you'd like to join them and get exclusive content, including individualized artwork, as well as a special thanks at the end of each full video, you can join them for as low as $1 or €1, however much that translates to, a month at patreon.com/darkofalltrades. Or if that isn't your thing, for a one-time thing, you can hit super thanks to show your support. I'll read every super thanks comment and respond in my next video. I appreciate all of you for being the best at least 50% of all of my subscribers. Seriously, thank you. And as always, keep learning.